If you are new to the channel, then subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for further notification. Okay student, welcome you all to this new lecture on Gate Analog Electronics series. So today we will be solving three questions, question number 106, 107 and 108. Okay, then let's try to solve these questions. In question number 106, a wind bridge oscillator is shown in the figure, which of the following statements are true. So it is a multiple correct answer, so you have to see which options are correct. So if f is the frequency of the oscillations, then something is given for RC, what will be the f? So you have to find the frequency of the oscillations for different values of R and C. So you know that wind bridge, any oscillator, it is a positive feedback oscillator, because we need to continuously oscillate the outputs. It's not that the output should be stable one, so the output should continuously oscillate. So for that we always give a positive feedback amplifier that will act like a, in case of oscillator we will always give positive feedback. So you see the output of this, you are giving a positive feedback here this much, this is the positive feedback that you are giving. So again, what will be this voltage and these potentials, they will be same, and on the basis of that oscillations actually happening. So on the verge of equal, when they are just equal, because once it cross another one, then it swings from one position to another position. So okay, let us see when just that crossing occurs, means when these two voltages are equal, that is just the point of transitions. So from that we will find some equations, so from that equation we can write it down. So if you see this one, so if I take how much portion of V0 is coming here, so what is the potential here? So if the potential here will be the, you can see the voltage is divided by this impedance and this impedance. There are two impedance, one is series RC, one is parallel RC. So you see this path V0 to up to this path. So V0 is divided into two voltage division, this voltage and this voltage, and we are calculating this voltage. Suppose this voltage I am marking at V. So if I am marking at V, so what will be my V? It will be V0, then it will be divided into this. So this one Z1 Z2, so this one divided by this one plus this one. Now what is this two parallel? If you parallel R and 1 by CS, we have already seen lots of things of this. So what it will come, it will be R by RCS plus 1. So this into divided by this plus this, if you do, that will come. So here it will be then this by RCS plus 1 divided by then the total impedance. What will be the total impedance? Total impedance will be this plus that series path. Series is what? Series is R plus 1 by CS. So if you do this one, this will be CS RCS plus 1. So ultimately if you simplify, it will look like this: V0 RCS divided by RCS plus 1 whole square. So this is also a feedback factor also, that we will see later how much portion of that is given as a feedback. Now you see, now again what will be the portion here? This is you see what is the voltage drop here, and if you take this path, then again V0 is divided into two parts. So we are equating these two equal, just equating these two as equal voltage. So what will be this one now? So this voltage will be divided into two parts, that is V0, and then it is R1 by R1 plus R2. So that is also V. So if you equate these two voltages, that is the transition point. So it will be V0 into R1 by R1 plus R2 will be equal to V0 RCS, then RCS plus 1 whole square. So if you equate the two and cancel out and do some side change or these kind of things, so you will find the equation, that is your differential equation of this fashion: R2 RCS by R1 plus 1 is equal to 0. So what is it is a second order differential equation standard. So if you divide it by R square C square, you will find 1 by, here it will be 1 by, if you divide it by, so and this becomes your natural frequency, because what was the equations? S square plus 2 zeta into omega and S, you will find in, this is a standard second order differential equation which gives you natural frequency of oscillations, that you will find in control. So your omega n, that is your natural frequency, that is 1 by RC, that is omega n square. So that means your f
is 1 by 2 pi RC. So now you put 1 by 1. If you put this R equal to 1, the first option, R equal to 1 kilo and C equal to 2 pi micro, then you will find it F is equal to 1. You can see 2 pi cancelled and 1 kilo 1 micro it will be. So your F will be equal to, if you put it there, your F will be equal to 1 kilowatt. So A is correct. So option A is correct. Similarly, if you put B also, that will also be correct. If you put here R equal to 3 you can see here. If you put 3 and 1 by 18, then pi will get cancelled, then 3 will left. 3. So ultimately what you will get? 3 2s are 6, 18 3. So you will get 3. F is equal to again 3 kilohertz. So if you put B also in this equation, if you put the values of B, I am not showing, you can easily do it. It is already done. By seeing also you can say. So it is also okay. Now what is there? C, the gain of this amplifier. So what is the gain? Now if you see the oscillators, in case of feedback, what is my, because it is positive feedback, so you can see what will be my transfer function, that is V0 by V0. You can see control, in control it was G by 1 plus GH, I think you can remember this one, but in control it was negative feedback. So here it is positive feedback. So here G means the gain, that is the forward gain. You can think it of this one, this is my forward gain, and there is a path through which I am giving feedback, suppose it is beta. So this is your G and H, like your in control what G is your forward path gain, H1 is the feedback factor. So similarly here, so it will be 1 minus A beta, because it is positive feedback here, it is connected to positive terminal. In control it is connected to negative terminal, that's why plus was there. So this one. Now here you can see there is no input, because you need to do the oscillations, it should oscillate continuously without any input, that is your Vi is 0. So if your Vi has to be 0, so this side will be infinity, so this side will also has to be infinite, that is undefined, so this one has to be 0. So that is the very important condition for an oscillator. This should be equal to 1. For an oscillator to perform satisfactorily, you need to have this operation, this relation to be satisfied, that is forward path gain multiplied by feedback factor, that should be equal to 1. Okay. Now they are asking what should be equal to gain. So gain equal to 1 by beta. So let us see what is the feedback factor here. So you see this is the feedback factor. How much portion you are giving feedback, that is because oscillator is positive feedback, so you see the positive feedback. How much of this output you are giving as a feedback, that is V is how much factor of V out. We have seen what is feedback factor. So it is V by V0. How much this and this V, not this one, this V, because this is the positive feedback that we are giving. So okay, now if you see this one, how much factor, this is the factor, you can see it will be RCS by RCS plus RCS plus 1 whole square. So this is your feedback factor. So we need to calculate feedback factor, because the system is oscillating at omega equal to 1 by RC, it is oscillating. So at this point, what is its magnitude? Because it is complex number, so it has magnitude and angle both. So if you put S is your j omega, and then S is equal to j omega, and then omega equal to 1 by RC. So if you put this one here, so it will be RC will get cancelled, so it will be j only, and here also RC will cancel, you will having j only, and it will be 1 plus j whole square, or j plus 1 whole square, whatever. So if you expand it, you need to have a magnitude of this one. So magnitude of upper one divided by magnitude of lower one. So it will be j plus 1 a square plus b square plus j square will give you minus 1 plus 2ab. So we need magnitude of this one. So you will find it is 1 by 3. That means your beta, that is your feedback factor, is 1 by 3. So what is your alpha? So alpha will be equal to 1 by beta, that is A. So your gain should be, forward path gain should be 3. That is your option D. The gain of the op-amp should be 3 for proper operation. So you see, with this you can find with this little bit concepts you can do any oscillators. It should not be invisible. Any oscillator they give. You just remember, in case of oscillator we give positive feedback, we have to calculate that positive feedback portion and these relations. Okay, 107 is a small signal feedback amplifier, 2 stages, for stage 1, stage 2. Match the defective component listed in the left hand side. So you have to match this one, left hand and right hand. This is the defect and what can be the effect, what will be the output in the circuit if this condition happens. So let us see one by one. So if you see, if your C1 is open, if you open this one, so what was the purpose of this C1, C2, C5? What is the purpose of this one? So that DC voltage does not come out of this. So this biasing of this one remain intact. So DC voltage will not come out of DC voltage, again DC will not come out of, so DC will circulate along this, that means it will keep it on. What is the biasing need? To keep the transistor on. So here also this biasing will keep the circuit transistor on, and this DC will not go out. Only the AC can pass through this capacitor, and that will pass through, and that will get amplified in two stages, and that will come out. Okay. Now if you remove this one, so no input will be there, so obviously no output will be there. But DC biasing will be intact because DC voltage is there, so it will be biased, it will be also biased. So let us see. So V0 should be 0, that should is my first. So this one either it will be K or V0 is 0, this is decrease, increase, no change. So V0 is 0. So either Q or S. Okay. Now let us read what is Q and S. Collector of TR2 at VCC. What is the collector of TR2? This is transistor, the collector of this one. So this potential they are saying at is at VCC. No, this is your VCC actually. This is VCC. So because DC current is flowing through this, inside there is a DC component, is current is flowing. So this potential is, what is this potential? VCC minus this. If you don't have any incoming and outgoing, so only DC analysis you are doing. So that means what is this voltage? This is your VCC. So minus this drop, because collector current will be flowing through this. So these two potential will not be equal. This will be equal if there is no RC2. If RC2 is open, RC2 is shorted, like your option D, then you can think of this one. This potential is at VCC. Because nothing is there, though this is a short path, so this potential will be there. So obviously that is Q is not the matching with A. So A is left with S. That is all DC voltage normal, that is okay. DC voltage are moving within this transistor, that is well within its own limit. So all DC voltage are normal and V0 is 0. So now if you see B, what is B? Capacitor C3 is open. So what is the purpose of C3? This is bypassing the, if you do the AC analysis, what you will do, you will make all the transistors, all the capacitors shorted. So if you short it, this path get shorted. Once this path gets shorted, can you draw the equivalent circuit of TR2? If we can draw the amplifier that we have, H parameter that we have drawn. What was this? This was HIE, and this was my ammeter, and this was my collector current, and this is my output. So if this is bypassed, then this is directly shorted. Had it not been bypassed, then it would have been something resistance on, then this is shorted. Suppose this is not there, then it is through this. Through this means it is a feedback path. This is your input, this is your output. This is with RC2, means C3 is open, suppose. Now if C3 is short, what is this is your HIE, that is beta into RE, which is the invert. Suppose there is C3 is there, then how this circuit will look like? This will be shorted. So this will be input output. See, there is no relation between input and output, no feedback is there. But here feedback is introduced. This is acting like a feedback. It is taking current from this side and it is injecting voltage in this side. It is measuring current from this side. What output parameter it is measuring? It is measuring the current through it, output current through it. Then injecting voltage in the input side. Input side voltage is increased. So it was current series and it is connected in series also. So we have seen this one. So ultimately with this, if you open this C3, if you are opening that C3, that means you are introducing a feedback. A feedback is introduced. Feedback is introduced. So once feedback is introduced, you have seen this one. So if you don't give any feedback there, what is the gain? Gain is A. So whatever you give, that will be multiplied. If you give gain, then if you give feedback, then it becomes 1 plus minus GS. It depends whether positive feedback or negative. So in case of here, it will be 1 plus GS. So ultimately, whatever you are dividing by something, so ultimately it will be, and it is 1 plus, it is greater than 1 also, because in amplifier you will be giving negative feedback. So what it will be A by 1 plus GS, that is A by 1 plus beta. Here gain will be equal to 1 by 1 plus alpha into beta. So your gain will get reduced. So once your gain get reduced, A will get reduced because you have introduced a feedback. If you remove this one, this will act like a feedback. So your gain is reduced means output will decrease. So and DC voltage will be intact. All DC voltage that is, because that is not related to your C3. For DC analysis, already these capacitors are open, and separately this and this in transistors also separated because this is also open. This is biased. DC is just to make it on. So that is okay. So what will be your answer then? All DC voltage increases, no, not increases. So it should be decrease. and you see the gain at the second stage is decreased, because first stage there is nothing change is there. There are two stages, this gain will be multiplied by this gain. So second stage gain is decreased. You see that this is the second stage gain, A2 you can think of, because you have introduced feedback in second stage. So that is your R. So B is connected with R. Now let us come to C now. Capacitor C4 is open. Now if you open this C4, what was the purpose of C4? In case of AC analysis, what you will short it. So you say there is a feedback you are giving here. So if you open this C4, this is just contradictory to earlier one. C3, if it is there, then there is no feedback. If you remove this one, then feedback is coming. Here, if it is there, then feedback is there. If you remove this one, then feedback is gone. There is no feedback to stage 1. So if you remove C4 out, that means feedback gone. You removed feedback is or beta is removed. Let me read. Beta, you have removed beta. If you remove beta, that means your gain will increase. You can see you have removed beta, so this portion will go out. Beta becomes 0, so your gain will increase. So gain will increase means V0 will increase. So you can see that is one increase was there, that is your T. So C will be with T. Overall gain of the, because this gain increase means overall gain increase. This increase means that also overall gain will increase. And V0 will increase. Now what will happen to D? RC2 is shorted. So that we have seen when was there, that collector terminal. So if you short this one, in case of AC analysis, what will be your output? What we do in case of AC analysis, we short out the capacitor and DC voltages we make it as a ground. All DC voltages are making it. Now if you see, this is shorted, this is ground, this is also shorted. So V0 is direct a short part to the ground. So what will be V0? V0 will be 0. So V0 will be 0, and this potential is at same potential because no resistance, no drop is there. So this collector will be at VCC, that is Q. So D will be connected with Q. So this is the answer. A with S, B with R, C with T, and D with Q. Okay, now if you see question number 108, the op-amp has an open loop gain of 10 to the power 5 and the open loop upper cutoff frequency of 10 to the power 10 Hertz. If the open loop is connected as an amplifier with a closed loop gain of this, so gain has reduced, that means you have introduced feedback. So the new upper cutoff frequency. So what will be the new feedback? That is suppose A by 1 plus beta, because this is amplifier, so negative feedback. So what was open loop gain? 10 to the power 5. So by 1 plus AB, that implies, which is equal to your, this is your closed loop gain, which is the new gain. So what is this factor? This is a very important factor, this one, because with this factor it gets reduced, your gain, everything, whatever changes are there, that is with respect to this gain only. So this gain also, your upper frequency will also increase. So you can see this one, lower frequency will decrease, cutoff frequencies. So with this factor only. So you need to calculate this factor. So it will be 10 to the power 3. So what will be your new upper cutoff frequency? That is old cutoff frequency multiplied by these factors. Similarly lower also. So everything will get changed. Gain is increased, bandwidth get increased, your upper frequency will increase. Earlier the cutoff frequency starts from here, now cutoff will starts from here. Upper. Similarly lower, if starts from here, it will get reduced, so your bandwidth get increased. So this bandwidth that get increased. So earlier FH was 10, so 10 into 10 cube, which will be equal to 10 kilohertz. That is your standard formula, that is option C. If you like the video, then press the like button and please give your valuable comments in the comment section.